Boys, welcome back to another episode and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday. Obviously I just said happy Sunday and it's about 9 a.m. So what we're doing is we're about to dive into some quick deep work or a 30 to 45 minute session with two goals. Lower our refunds and raise the mid cap. So those are our two goals for that. Afterwards, I'm gonna dive into, I'm just gonna get ready to go and smash probably a 45-minute run. Not any particular distance, just gonna go for a probably quick 45-minute run just to get cardio in shape and everything like that, and then hit some footwork afterward, and then probably focus on a couple super light things in the gym just to keep the muscles going. I don't know exactly what the science would be behind that, but that's what we're gonna go do. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and work out on the balcony for a little bit. So I'm gonna stop recording in 10 seconds so I can grab my MacBook and get out there. But once I'm out there, I'll start to record again and share with you guys my findings on how we're gonna reduce our refunds. All right, so I've taken some notes, and the purpose of these notes are to identify key points within our customer support and just in our business that we can improve upon, right? So the first thing that I did was I went through our emails, and the first thing that I noticed was that our email signature just says customer care team. It doesn't mention our brand name anywhere. So what I believe we should do is say brand name customer support representative or whatever, right? And the reason for that is because it'll increase brand awareness. People will know who they're talking to, and it just kind of reaffirms that our brand name is our brand name, so people know who they're messaging essentially, and if they're enjoying their customer support experience, then that's a good thing for our brand. In turn, maybe we'll get some good reviews about certain agents, whatnot, things like that, right? So that's the first thing that I noticed. And then I also noticed that what we could possibly do is introduce an FAQ page that's for our customer support only. It's only customer support facing. So when somebody emails in, we can introduce this into our email script as well. So at the bottom, it's hey, thanks so-and-so for emailing in. You can feel free to call us, and then also visit this most commonly asked questions page by our customers, right? So we can include all of our key points that we wouldn't want to put on our main page. But for the people that are concerned about returns, things like that, they can go to this page and they can review how to actually return a product, who to contact, how to receive their refund, timeframes on the refund, things like that. So we already have an FAQ page, but it's more about the product. This could be more customer support centered. So I think that could also help, reduce the amount of emails that we actually have to have, which lowers the cost that we have on our customer support. So I think that's, also a big thing, because lower the cost, more the profitability, right? And then inside of a couple emails, I've been asked, well, I haven't, but our customer support team has been asked, what are the ingredients, of this product? And we have a couple ingredients, right, that are just normal things that you include in gummies, like tapioca syrup, sugar, water, pectin, things like that, right? That's how you create a gummy, right? But what we wanted to do was just leave, what I believe we should do is leave that for the label, right? We should just put emphasis on the CBD and the hemp oil and the other natural ingredients that we have in there and the benefits of them to the customer, so they're just oh, okay, this makes sense. I would love to try these products because of these ingredients, right? Nobody's gonna go and say, oh yeah, I would love to try this product when the first ingredient that we list is tapioca syrup. That's not it. So what I believe we should do, which might in turn boost more sales, is just put emphasis on the actual beneficial ingredients and then just leave the others for the labels. Then I noticed that there was a couple possible SMTP issues. So an SMTP issue is essentially just an email that goes out, right? It's our autoresponders. So it's order confirmation, refund confirmation, subscription billing notification, things like that, right? So I noticed that there was a customer that had called in and canceled their subscription, but still received their email for their subscription and then forced them to email in again saying, hey, I thought I canceled this. And they did cancel. It's raining a little bit. And they did cancel, but they still got their email. So that resulted in another email having to go out from customer support, which is a higher cost for us, like I keep saying. So we have to make sure that that's not working or that's not happening. And then I noticed a couple other things, right? So there was a customer that emailed in. They were just like, hey, look, I was confused about the price. I thought I was getting it for this price, right? In my opinion, rather than trying to offer them our discount ladder, which we do 15%, 25%, or no, 25%, 35%, and a 50% refund, right? And that's for like the, you know, discounted product. If they email us or they call us and they're like, hey, I thought this product was $60, but it ended up being 80. Rather than offering them a discount, we should just say, okay, so-and-so, we'll price match you right now, and we're so sorry for the confusion. That way, it actually just results in a yes. But for example, if I bought something for $100 and I thought it was, you know, $50, and then somebody offers me 25% discount, I'm still getting it for $75. I'm not getting it for $50. So my initial answer is going to be no. So when they offer me 35%, I'm going to still say no, because my psychology is already in the no mindset, right? When somebody says no once, they're more likely to say no twice. And so I believe that if we just price match right off the rip, that's going to be a great idea for us. I think that'll get people in the yes mindset, so that we're not refunding 100% of the order. Rather, we're refunding maybe, you know, 50% or 30% or whatever their price confusion was, saving us some of the revenue, because some people say no, and then when we go to price match, it's just like, why would I do this when I've already said no to you 4 times, right? So that's something that we're going to introduce to our SOP for our customer support as well. I think that's going to, you know, actually go ahead and improve our odds of saving that customer. Then, for example, we have a couple of upsells, right? We have freeze cream, oil, and, you know, a couple other bundles, right? Like priority processing, insured shipping, things like that. So the notes that we have on our customer support prove that this thing that I'm about to tell you is actually going to work. It's important. I think it'll help us lower our refunds. And this just goes into like digging into your business. It's so important. Like, you know, just reading through your customers, their concerns, reading through your customer support's notes on your orders. Like, if you're on Shopify, you can go, there's a notes tab there. Have your customer support agents write notes about every refund, every customer that emails you. Have the notes there, because you're not gonna be able to analyze them otherwise, right? So anyway, this customer called in, they were like, hey, I wanted to just cancel these 2 products. I just wanted the gummies. I didn't really want the freeze cream and the oil. Instead of that, our customer support just saying, okay, yeah, so-and-so, we'll offer you a discount ladder on the oil to try to save you guys, you know, save us the upsells, right? Save us the revenue. Instead of doing that, the first thing they did was educate the customer about the charges and then a monthly subscription, right? So sometimes people select the subscribe and save option and they don't really realize that they selected the subscribe and save option, right? But instead of us going in and saying, hey, so-and-so, yeah, you're going to get this again next month, when they're already pissed off and they don't want, you know, these 2 products in the first place, we educated them on the charges and a monthly subscription, right? So it's already pissing them off, right? By that point, seeing the notes, the customer refused and wanted to cancel, even though she already wanted the gummies. She mentioned that she was unaware of the subscription and decided to cancel the entire order. So whereas we could have just canceled 2 products or offered a discount ladder on 2 products, we educated them on a subscription that they weren't calling in about in the first place, resulting in 100% of a refund, right? So what those notes lead me to believe is that rather than doing education on a monthly subscription, we can wait for our pre-billing notification to go out, and if people call in about the subscription, that's when we educate them. But if they don't call in about the subscription, we shouldn't be educating them on an order that hasn't happened yet. We should just be helping them with that order. So basically, I think by doing that, it'll also go ahead and lower the refund rate, because if I'm a customer and I call in and somebody's like, yo, you have a subscription coming up next month, I'll just be like, fuck it, I don't want it anyway, right? So that's kind of what we have to do here. I think that's going to be very important. And then I also have, you know, another customer that's supporting evidence of the, you know, that right there. I just noted that. So pretty good info so far today. I think that this is going to be kind of a game changer for us in lowering our refunds and also in trial cancellation rates. Because if everybody's calling in about their initial order and we're automatically saying, oh yeah, okay, cool, but you also have this order coming up next month, well, of course our in trial cancellation rates are going to be crazy, you know? So I think by doing that, we'll allow people to call in later on if they want to cancel. But if they get the gummies and they like them, which most people do, then they're not going to cancel their subscription. They're just going to keep it, and it's going to come next month and the next month and the next month, right? I also noticed one last thing today, which was a customer called in. They were like, hey, I didn't want these oil, these cream, whatever. I just want the gummies. We educated them immediately on the monthly subscription. They were like, no, I want to try the gummies first. So they kept the gummies, right? But instead we moved their billing date 5 months back. So they're not going to get their subscription for another 5 months. I don't know really why that was SOP, but that's what happened. So what I think we need to do is for customers like that, we need to have notes on who those customers are every single week. And then we check their delivery status. Once it's delivered, we call them again. We say, hey, how are you liking your gummy so far? I'd like to offer you 15% off on your subscription if we can move it back to the 30-day mark that you were supposed to have in the first place. So what I'm thinking this will do will reduce our churn on our subscriptions. It'll also improve the overall profitability. All this stuff will just lower our refunds, decrease in-trial cancellations, and improve profitability, right? By doing that, it's also improving our mid-health. So the lower the refunds, the better in a merchant account's eyes, right? If I'm a bank and I'm processing, on behalf of, let's just say a CBD company, they're using my processing company to process 100,000 a month, but they're refunding 35,000 per month. To me, that looks like a little bit high risk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot down their approval rates. I'm not going to allow as many transactions, and I'm certainly not going to give them a merchant account cap raise when they go to request that. So these are all very important things. I think that this is going to in turn help our business overall, but that's what I noticed so far. So this is a little bit behind the scenes. This is the boring work that I'm talking about all the time that we have to do in order to improve, right? Because our two biggest hiccups right now, our two biggest ones, refunds, profitability, because they go hand in hand, and then merchant account cap and profitability because they go hand in hand, right? If we don't have the merchant account cap to scale to $1 million a month, no matter if our margins are 10% or 15%, we're still not going to make 100,000 per month, right? If we don't have the refunds in place to be down to, like, let's just say 15% refunds from 35% or 30%, well, then our margins aren't going to ever hit 100,000 per month because we're refunding 35% of our orders. So these are all things that are so important, and it's our two biggest focuses right now because we're not at a high scale by any means, but we're trying to get there. And by reading all this data, that's kind of like, let's think of it as sample data, right? Our sample customers, they're testing the product for the first time, they're testing our customer support for the first time. I'm grateful that actually it's worked out like this. We started out with low merchant account cap, we're scaling more and we're scaling more and we're getting more merchant account cap, right? But by having all this sample data to work with, now we have so much room to optimize so that when we do scale, we're just gonna be that much more profitable. So that's my little behind the scenes work, but I'm gonna go ahead, finish up some more of this and then hit my run, and I'll talk to you guys after. Just absolutely smashed that workout, boys. We did 45 minutes on the treadmill, which was equivalent to 5 miles, so crushed that. Afterward, we did those things where you pull it down, you go over that. We did a couple rounds of 1 minute with that. Some shadow boxing, some hangs, and some pull-ups. Good shit today. Good shit today. We're working hard. I'm not training for anything specific right now, but my goal is to eventually fight, right? So in my head already, I'm not just training to be average, I'm training to win. I'm training to move forward. I'm training to make progress. I'm not training to be just like whoever I'm fighting or just like, an average boxer or average person that's in the gym. I want to be good, I want to be the best. And that's what we're always striving for. So putting in the work, and in all honesty, I always talk about momentum. You guys know that, but we're the ones that build the momentum in our lives. And if I'm not doing shit like this, I'm not building momentum in my life. And, that's an absolute fact, because no matter what, if you're trying something, you can't, like for example, I was on the treadmill, right? I told myself in the beginning I'm gonna do 45 minutes. When I hit minute 30, it was like this little voice in my head saying, oh, you already did a couple miles, you good? It's Sunday, it's supposed to be a chill day. But you can't listen to that little voice in your head. You have to push harder and harder and harder and build yourself to be the best person. That's how you get better as a person, whether that's fitness or in business, right? You could be doing 10,000 a month in your business, and your little voice could be like, oh, that's cool. Let's just go play video games instead, or let's just go drink or do something instead, right? So you can't listen to that little voice. You have to keep pushing forward. That's how you grow as a man. That's how you grow as a person. And that's the only way you're going to grow and make progress, is if you push yourself. Nobody else is there with you. Nobody else is going to be there to say, oh yeah, Connor, keep running, keep running, keep running. Maybe my coach when I'm at the gym, but he knows a lot of this shit is done on our own time. That's how you get better. So nobody's going to be there to save you. Nobody's going to be there to push you. You're the only one that's going to be able to push yourself. So you have to be able to control your own mind, your own brain. So that's how we're spending our Sunday today, boys, is grinding on the business, optimizing everything we can in our business, grinding on our health, optimizing where we can in our health, because boys, when we fight, we're gonna win. When we run, we're gonna get first place. When we're doing it in business, we're gonna compete against the biggest CBD companies and we're gonna become the biggest, because that's our goal, right? So that's how this works. You know, you build the momentum in your life. It's all about you. This week, I kind of let it slip up a little bit because I was moving. I made excuses for that. And, you know, I was like, I'm moving, I'm busy, so I didn't upload. And guess what? I wasn't growing on YouTube. I wasn't growing in business. I wasn't doing anything good. So now I'm trying to get that back, boys, and I'm pushing hard to get that back. And I already feel it coming back. I feel happier. I feel ready. I feel just like, you know, like I was. So you got to push yourself. But I'm gonna have a shower and then make my post-workout meal, which is fire. So I'll share that with you guys after I'm done showering. This meal is made of 3 ingredients. So we got raw heavy cream, which is full of fats and great bacteria for your gut, for your digestion and everything, and also protein too. Blueberries, full of antioxidants, so that's amazing for your skin. It's great sugar, everything like that. And then we got one more that I forgot, which is raw honey. So basically, it's not a very complicated dish. All you do is get a bowl like this. It's a small bowl, but you get a bowl, you get a spoon. You scoop in your raw heavy cream. I like to put a lot of it because the diet I follow is primarily based on animal fats, so butter, cream, milk, and like usually red meat. I want to say usually red meat, and most of the time it's raw as well. I mean, lately it hasn't been. And then also eggs, which is full of fats, vitamins, and proteins. So that's pretty much what I follow primarily for my diet. And it, you know, makes me just feel a lot better, makes my hair feel better, makes just everything much better. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, make this. I'll show you guys the finished product, eat that, and then I have a couple things to do. I'm gonna go run to the store, and I think I'm making fajitas tonight if I'm not wrong. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys in a bit. All right, so we finished cooking up dinner. We got some makeshift fajitas with some sourdough bread. We actually have a sourdough lady out here that just makes us like the best sourdough, so it's super good. But that's what we're having for dinner. Anyway, today was a really, really good day for pretty much everything. Like, we're starting the week really strong, and I think it's very important that you start your Sunday, which is the start of the week, strong. You know, it is a weekend. It's a weekend day, I guess you could say, but it's what brings you into Monday, and it's what brings you into, you know, this whole week. And so for us, at least for me today, I feel that I like started really strong this week. You know, I told myself I was gonna do 45 minutes on the, you know, at least running, and I did that. I made a lot of headway when it came down to reducing our refunds, and, you know, we're gonna implement all these changes this week and see how it, you know, actually pans out. And then in terms of revenue today, we're already at $4,600 in revenue with $1,000 in profit. So I'm super excited, especially considering this week is the last, or I mean, I'm sorry, last week was the last week of Chinese New Year. So now that we're going into this week where all of the affiliates will be back, they're gonna be ready to push volume, we should start to do some really, really good numbers. And making all the changes that we're making to our customer support, to our refunds, to basically just everything internally to optimize our business, I'm just super excited, you know. I think it's just been a great Sunday, even though it was raining and everything like that. We still got everything we needed to do done. So start your week strong, super, super important. But I'm gonna get into this before it gets kind of cold and eat my dinner. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions for me, just comment. I always answer, so just comment, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.